May I come in, sir? Good afternoon, sirs. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Take your seat.
Thank you, sir.
Divyanshi.
Yes, sir.
So Divyanshi, kindly tell something about you which is not very clear from the DAF. I mean something beyond DAF. Okay?
Sir, my name is Divyanshi Singla and I've done my schooling from my hometown in Kaithal, Haryana. Thereafter, I did my graduation from RAU'S College, and I find myself to be a very honest and a person who likes to introspect a lot.
That's very good. And what did you study, Divyanshi?
Sir, chemistry.
You studied chemistry.
Yes, sir.
But you didn't opt it for your UPSC CSE.
Yes, sir.
Any reason for that?
Sir, there are two reasons. First is I found sociology interesting. Second is syllabus is manageable and there is overlap with GS papers also.
Very good. Among the different social thinkers on this particular subject,
yes, sir.
Any particular one which impressed you most?
Sir, Durkheim, in my opinion, because he came up with distinctively sociological explanations for apparently economical or political phenomena also. For example, suicide, which seems to be a psychological phenomena, but he came up with sociological explanation of suicide and division of labor also. He gave a sociological explanation for division of labor, which seems to be an economical phenomena.
Suppose we wish to find out authentic figures of suicides in India. Where do I look up?
Sorry, sir?
I wish to find out, suppose there are two friends and they're discussing how many suicides take place in India. One fellow tells it is 100 suicides, somebody says it is 10,000 in a year. So they are out for some authentic document about how many suicides taking place in the country in 1 year, our country.
Yes, sir.
Which document we will refer to?
Sir, maybe NCRB, National Crime Records Bureau.
That's the office. Which particular document we look for?
Sir, I'm not able to recall at this point.
It's okay. Doesn't matter. You are perfectly right. It's the same office, and it is called Accidental Deaths and Suicides in India. It's an annual publication from
Thank you, sir.
Very good. Sir, should we okay. All right.
Divyanshi, have you read the newspapers today?
Sir, I read some headlines of
You read the headlines. Can you tell me 2 or 3 headlines which actually struck you as important developments?
Sir, first is the issue of land subsidence in Joshimath district of Uttarakhand. Second one is second one, sir, is the eviction of residents from Haldwani district of Uttarakhand due to a railway project that is coming up there. And third one is COVID, rising of COVID cases in China, which has become exponential, and the issue of fake medicines which is happening there.
Fake medicines?
Yes, sir. Sir, there is a report from China that fake Indian medicines are circulating there given the demand-supply mismatch of medicines.
We'll come to that later on. I haven't seen that one so far. Anything else? International affairs?
Sir, I'm not able to recall.
Okay. There is one big event taking place today and tomorrow in Indore. Did you read anything about that? Pravasi Bharatiya Divas?
No, sir. I'm not aware of that.
There are going to be several presidents and prime ministers from abroad who are coming for that event. No.
No, sir. I'm not aware.
Okay. But do you know anything about what Pravasi Bharatiya Divas is, if not the Indore one? But what is Pravasi Bharatiya Divas?
Sir, Pravasi Bharatiya Divas provides a platform where Indian diaspora can come and they get to know about Indian culture and Also, various awards are presented to the Indian diaspora to honor their contributions to the India and the abroad.
Uh, when was the first Pravasi Bharati Divas?
Sir,
And why was it? Why did it start?
Sir, I'm not able to recall the exact date, but it started because of the Mahatma Gandhi's coming to India after his stay in South Africa.
So that was the reason.
Yes, sir. In my opinion, it was the reason.
No, it's not a question of opinion. It's a question of fact.
Yes, sir. It was the reason.
Okay. Since you have not read about Indore, I'll tell you more about that during the feedback time. Okay.
Sir.
Now, Chinese, the racket of fake medicine in China. Tell me more about it.
Since due to surge of COVID cases in China, there is a mismatch of demand and supply. And since India is pharmacy of the world, various generic Indian medicines are also there. But a report is coming up which is saying that fake Indian medicines which do not have appropriate quality to cater to the COVID infections is happening there.
Source? The news. Where did you read this news?
Sir, Hindu newspaper. I read it on its first page.
Agency, do you remember?
No, sir, I do not remember.
Okay. Did the story say how this Indian medicine is going into China?
Sir, it was a very short news. I didn't go into the details. I just read the news only.
Okay. But what is the situation about COVID in China? And how did it happen that it suddenly become so serious?
Sir, China implemented a zero COVID policy under which it implemented very harsh restrictions on the citizens of China, under which they were not allowed to step outside, which led to surge of COVID cases which were not reported. But after a protest which happened there against this zero COVID policy, sudden surge of infections came up, and along with that, this test and trace policy was also abandoned due to the protests.
All right. If the zero COVID policy was working in the sense that there were very few cases being reported, why did the government of China reverse the zero COVID policy?
Sir, first of all, the economic growth was taking a back seat. The economic activity was not happening due to this zero COVID policy. Second one is the protests which led to abandonment of protests in China, which led to abandonment of this policy.
But why did the protests come about? There were one or two specific reasons.
Sir, there was a simmering discontent in China against the zero COVID policy, but one incident was of fire which happened in one of the houses there, and the ambulance was not allowed to enter the compound of the colony. It had to take measures from the gate itself.
Where was it in China? Which particular province? Any place name?
Sir, I'm not able to recall the name.
All right. You have one dance competition.
Yes, sir.
What dance did you?
Sir, it was freestyle dance in which I did semi-classical dance also and some freestyle dance.
Which semi-classical dance did you do? I'm asking you because I've heard classical dances, I've heard modern dance, contemporary, freestyle, but what is this semi-classical dance? Folk hota hai?
Yes, sir. Sir, semi-classical dance is a mix of classical. It is not pure classical dance. It does not follow the rules which we have to follow in classical dance. It is a mix of Bollywood and some moves, free moves of classical dance.
Which classical dance was part of your semi-classical dance?
Sir, mostly Kathak it was.
Kathak. Have you learned Kathak formally or you just copied?
No, sir. It was just free moves of Kathak.
Okay. Who is your ideal Kathak dancer?
Sir, I've not learned Kathak and I'm not aware of the Kathak dancers.
Okay. So basically it was freestyle really with some moves of Kathak.
Yes, sir.
What is a freestyle? What is the, in that case, tell me what is the difference between the modern dance, freestyle and contemporary?
Sir, freestyle dance is not choreographed as such. It is done to the beat of the music. You can do any step which matches to the beat of the music. While contemporary dance has a certain specific rules associated with it. It is a particular form of dance. And modern dance includes various forms of dances.
Contemporary, you said there is a particular move to the music. What?
Yes, sir. Contemporary is a form of dance. It's a style of dance.
What kind of moves? I understand that part. But you said that there are moves in accordance with the music or to the music. So what kind of moves are there which are not same as a freestyle dancing?
Sir, contemporary dance is done on slow music and it involves very slow and fine movements of dance in which a dancer uses hands and legs and which are very fine and slow moves.
Okay. One last question. Why is Pakistan facing so much of trouble today? And it's not because of India, but if you are reading the newspapers, you would know the story.
Yes, sir. Sir, recently there has been a news where Tehreek-e-Taliban is involving in some terrorist activities in Pakistan, which is...
No, it's worse than that. It's a question of survival. Pakistan economy related?
Yes, sir. On economic front also, Pakistan is facing various challenges due to which it is resorting to some debt measures from some international agencies.
What challenge? Just one line.
Sir, I think debt unsustainability. It is facing the issue of debt unsustainability.
All right. Thank you very much, Divya.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, Divyanshi.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me, as a lady, what are the benefits that the Indian government and the Indian law gives to women?
Ma'am, there are various benefits which women receives due to government policies, such as educational benefits in form of Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao scheme, and nutritional benefits in form of campaign like Poshan Abhiyan. Apart from that, Constitution gives 33% reservation to women in political sphere so as to increase their representation in decentralized forums.
Is there anything particularly that the police gives to women? Is there any benefit? What are the rules regarding women in a police station?
Ma'am, I'm not aware of the...
In fact, I think our police officer will explain to you. Okay. Have you ever heard of POSH?
POSH, ma'am, yes.
What is it?
Ma'am, as far as I can recall, it is related to sanitation and...
No, not really. Think again. Prevention of sexual harassment at the workplace.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, do you know anything about it now that I've explained what it is? There is specific laws?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, it is related to the measures that seeks to prevent sexual harassment of women at the workplace, and there is an act also which punishes any crime by forming an internal complaints committee against any such activities which involve sexual harassment of women at workplace.
Okay. You studied chemistry?
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
What is a rare earth and why are they so important?
Ma'am, rare earths are minerals which are used in various fields such as aerospace, military, medical equipments, etc. They are important because...
Can you name a few?
Ma'am, lanthanum is one. Actinides are there, various actinides are there.
Lithium?
Ma'am, lithium is not a rare earth.
Okay, go on. So tell me, how have they been used in international relations to change certain mindsets of certain countries? Can you tell me what is the background of this?
Ma'am, I'm not aware of the background, but
Where does it come from? I'll just guide you a little. Where does it come from?
ma'am, I think from semiconductor and
No,
chips.
that is the use. But where is the raw material?
Raw material, ma'am, Central Asia and parts of Southern America.
You're guessing. Anyway, never mind. What are the difficulties that you see with converting all cars in India to electric cars?
Ma'am, there are various challenges in this issue, in this initiative. First is infrastructure building, such as building up of various charging stations. Second one is boosting up the demand, or convincing the consumers to buy electric vehicles instead of other fossil fuel based vehicles. Also, ma'am, there is a challenge of retrofitting of engines or manufacturing of
Do you
lithium
think that
battery.
electric engines are better for the environment or not?
Ma'am, yes, they are better for the environment because greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, etc.
Okay, very good, that's right.
controlled.
But what are the problems with electric vehicles in the sense of environment-wise?
Ma'am, if electricity is sourced from fossil fuel based
Yeah, absolutely
resources,
right.
then it will not be much effective.
That's right, thank you. Do you think that hydrogen as a source of energy is better?
Yes, ma'am, there are various benefits. It is a very clean fuel, but the issue is if it is sourced from renewable source of energy like solar energy, wind energy, then it will help to.
Hydrogen is sourced from solar energy, are you sure?
Ma'am, if the extraction is resourced from.
You mean from water?
Yes, ma'am, source is water, but if electrolysis is done using renewable source of energy, then it will be effective in controlling climate change.
Okay, right. Thank you very much,
Thank
Divyanshi.
Can I ask a question on this hydrogen? I'm frankly confessing that I'm very confused by using green hydrogen as a source of energy.
Yes, sir.
From what I remember I'm by the way MSc Physics and I did some research also, so I'm not a total nincompoop as far as the science is concerned. From what I understand is that if you are using certain amount of energy in extracting hydrogen from the water, then the energy is reproduced again when you combine hydrogen with the oxygen from the air, right? This is how the green
Yes.
hydrogen works. And whatever the cost of extraction of hydrogen, use solar energy, whatever it is. But you cannot generate energy. There is a principle of the conservation of energy. So if you are using certain amount of energy in extracting hydrogen from air, then the amount of hydrogen energy you will get by combining hydrogen back with oxygen will be actually less than what you spent. So how do the economics works?
Sir,
I mean, the riddle, it's a riddle.
How do the economics work? Tell me.
Sir, can you please elaborate a bit?
I think
I'm,
you know the principle of conservation of energy.
yes, sir.
You cannot generate energy, you can transfer energy, but you can't create energy.
Yes, sir.
You know that. So when you are using energy to split water molecule into hydrogen and oxygen, oxygen goes into the air in any case, but you store hydrogen.
Yes, sir.
And then you combine that hydrogen again with the oxygen in air to produce energy like in the combustion or in a vehicle. But that energy which will be produced by the same molecules of hydrogen would be less than what you have actually spent in splitting the water molecule. So where does the economics work?
Sir, if renewable source is being used to produce energy, Then there will be no carbon footprint in production of hydrogen-based energy.
I agree. But then you're talking about storage.
Yes, sir.
You produce renewable energy, you need to store, you use lithium, you use cells, etc., etc. You store. That's a different thing. I'm talking about the cost of production of energy.
Sir, I think if economy of scale is achieved, then cost of production can be lowered.
Bravo, you have changed the principle of conservation of energy.
Sorry,
Anyway.
sir, I'm not able to understand.
No, there are some
It's
things.
an interesting point. We'll discuss later on. Sir.
Well, Divyanshi, all these hydrogen, etc. I think you will agree that of late we are discussing a lot about climate and all that. No?
Yes, sir.
In India, elsewhere, throughout the globe. Why we are discussing so much on climate now?
Sir, there are various issues associated to climate change, such as global warming, which adversely impacts small island developing countries and people who are in the lower strata of society. Second is, sir, various landscapes such as glaciers, rivers, they are also being impacted adversely due to climate change. And extreme weather events such as floods, heat waves, cold waves, they are also being very frequent these days.
Okay, so what do you think? When was the first concrete step was taken by world community to arrest this process or to do something on this climate change scenario?
Sir, in 1992, when Rio Earth Summit was convened, that was the first step taken in this direction.
What happened after that? After Rio, what was another milestone as far as this climate change, global warming, arresting of global warming is concerned?
Yes.
What happened after that?
Sir, follow-up conventions took place and Paris...
What is the name of that follow-up convention?
Sir, under UNFCCC, various...
What is that?
Sir, UNFCCC was an institution that came up in Rio Summit.
Can you
And
elaborate this?
full name. United Nations on Sir, if I am missing.
Okay, no issue, no issue. Then what happened in that UNFCCC?
Sir, in UNFCCC, various COPs were called.
Which various? What is COPs? Police people?
No, sir. Conventions were called under it.
Conventions were called.
Yes, sir.
So you want to
COP.
say COPs means Conference of Parties?
Conference of Parties,
Okay.
yes, sir.
Please, correct.
So they were called, and various issues related to climate change were discussed, such as financing and carbon market mechanisms, etc. And various agreements were made, such as in Paris Climate Agreement, there was an issue, there was a principle of common but differentiated responsibility, which was taken up in that summit.
This common but differentiated responsibility issue was taken up in Paris COP. You're telling like that?
Sir, it was earlier also, but it was discussed in that summit also.
It was discussed. What was the most important outcome of Paris Conference of Parties? Most important outcome?
So there was an agreement to limit the temperature rise
To
below
what extent?
below 1.5 degrees Celsius. There will be
Below 1.5 degrees Celsius in relation to what?
below 1.5 degrees Celsius prior to 2005 industrial levels.
Prior to 2005 industrial levels.
Yes, sir.
So there were industrial levels 2005.
Yes, sir. That was the cutoff date that was decided.
So the temperature of the globe which existed in 2005, they were the baseline.
Yes, sir. That was the cutoff date.
That was the cutoff date. Okay. And then you have to reduce 1.5 degree.
Sir, although efforts will be taken to reduce it below 1.5 degrees Celsius, but a target has been set to reduce it to below 2 degrees Celsius.
Okay. In this connection, what do you think? What India has taken? I mean, what are the initiatives that India has taken in this regard, in this climate mitigation program?
Sir, India has taken various initiatives at global level and at domestic level.
I am asking about domestic levels.
Okay, at domestic level, India has come up with this Green Wall initiative.
Green Wall Initiative.
Which resembles to that of Africa. There is an initiative to build a green cover from Gujarat to Delhi, so to increase the green cover and curb the carbon footprint. And
Gujarat to Delhi, a green cover.
yes, sir.
How this green cover is going to be developed from Gujarat to Delhi? What are the components of this green cover?
Sir, afforestation activities will be
Afforestation
undertaken.
activities. Okay. Afforestation. Do you think that the forest deforestation is in an alarming rate in India?
Sir, various development projects require sometimes to displace the forests. That is leading to an issue of deforestation.
What do you think? The deforestation in India over a period of time, it has decreased or it is increased? The rate of deforestation.
Sir, as per a report by Forest Survey of India, rate of deforestation has come down and forest cover has increased.
Good. How much it has come down?
Sir, I'm not aware
You are
of the
not
exact
aware
figure.
about it. You are not aware. And what are the other measures India is going to take about climate mitigation or climate adaptation programs?
Sir, India is focusing on switching to electric vehicles instead of fossil fuel based vehicles. Apart from that, there is a focus on International Solar Alliance to scale up the solar energy and make it more economical in nature.
Okay. You have written in your DAF that your father is in business.
Yes, sir.
What type of business he is in?
Sir, garments business.
Garment business. So, in the business community, do you know something about this responsibility of the business people, the businessmen about climate or about mitigation of the climate? Is there any point? Is there any government rules and regulations are there?
Yes, sir. There
Or some
is,
responsibility like CSR?
Yes, sir.
What is that? Can you tell me about garment industry?
Sir, there is a rule regarding the recycling of the packaging material that a business person uses to sell its products. Sir, I'm not able to recall the term, but it is related to recycling the packaging material or the product that a business is selling to consumers.
Okay. So that recycling, is there any rule? Are there any rule for this recycling work?
Yes, sir. There are various rules such as electronic waste related
management
to waste
rules,
management
waste
rules,
management
plastic
rules
waste
are there.
management rules.
And how much to be recycled? Say plastic or say such type of hardwares or something. Have you come across with this idea or with this thing somewhere? How much is to be recycled till 2025? There are some targets have been fixed, no?
Sir, I'm not able to.
You're not sure about it. Okay, so you are from Haryana.
Yes, sir.
Recently, about 1 or 2 years back, Haryana, like Mohenjo-daro, there is a site has been developed in Haryana, no?
Yes,
What
sir.
is that site name?
Sir, Rakhi Garhi.
Rakhi Gadi. What are the peculiarities of that site?
Sir, Rakhi Garhi is the largest Indus civilization site in India, and it is near Hisar.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you,
So
Divyanshi.
Divyanshi, it has been nice talking to you, and your interview is over.
Thank
Can
you, sir.
wait outside. We'll call you after 2 minutes.
Thank
Okay.
you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.